Nice little heavy pour.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
4 fingers.
Welcome, everybody. We're back. This is The Fellowship.
Thank you.
This is your host this evening, Adam Hawk. How nervous are you tonight, Hawk?
Not nervous at all. Let's get this going, man.
He's been
I'm
in show
excited.
business for a long time. We had a great show last week. We, burst our bubble, so to speak, and popped the old cherry. And are we allowed to say that?
Sure. We just did.
Yeah, well, we just did. And we had Crano on last week. It was an in-depth conversation, and we realized, shit, we have a real show to host now. So I'm going to do my best to stop interrupting people, and Hawk, you just keep doing you. All right?
I'll keep doing me. Cheers to that.
Let's go enjoy the fellowship.
That was quite a time to be alive.
I would really like to undo my jacket button there, but that's okay. All right, Adam. In tradition, we can... I got you this cigar. Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Yeah, start the show, host.
Welcome back to the Fellowship. There's no round of golf to talk about this week, so no missing flats or anything like that, but it has been quite the week. We debuted episode 1 to...
Thank you all 42 people that logged in to watch that first episode.
Well,
that was... I mean, we thought we were going to get some views, but 42, fuck, that is like 20 more than we thought we were going to get, at least.
Yeah, and so far the reception has been great, so we appreciate that very much. We're going to keep things going. We have an amazing guest. Cole Young is here. We're going to introduce him, tell you exactly who he is. He came bearing some amazing gifts.
What did we get?
I got a putter, which I needed. You got a club head cover.
I think he offered to give you some golf lessons, too.
I don't need those. They've never worked. Why would they work now? But we're very excited to have Cole. He's going to join us here in just a second. The set looks a little bit different than it was last week. You just procured these amazing plastic ashtrays. Where did you get these?
Truth be told, Walmart still sells ashtrays. They come in 2 sizes and 3 colors, white, black, and red. And I think it was fitting to go with red since you're such a Tiger Woods fan, And
actually, Cole likes Tiger Woods too, so we're actually...
So there's 2 Tiger Woods fans left on the face of the earth, apparently.
To talk a little Tiger Woods today, which I'm excited about.
Hopefully we have a jar of pills like Tiger likes, because those seem to look like they work pretty good.
Well, and I need some. I've had quite the day. We have been tracking my heart rate all day.
What's it at right now?
Well, I'm not wearing it. It doesn't go with the outfit.
He took his Apple Watch off.
It's a Garmin. A lot of anxiety today because it's one thing to do one good show. Like when a band has one hit, then you got to do it again.
Ish.
Now we have to do a second good show, which I think we're going to be able to pull off today. But this has been...
Well, if we do, it's going to be no help to you. You've been a wreck all day.
I'd say all week. I've had a bad week. I was thinking about this driving in today. I know we don't want to turn this into like a
Sadam's blog.
I know, no, we don't want to turn it into a Nation golf commercial, but you and I had a disagreement about a certain visor that you designed. It's called the 1776. I thought that it would be a flop. I thought it was hideous.
We sold like 16 in 5 minutes.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And so I had to eat it on that, and then I had to tape up hat boxes all day. A lot of people don't know this. It's a 2-man company, so when you buy something, we also have to warehouse it, ship it, fulfill it, mail it, all that stuff. So I was taping visor boxes.
We're poor.
Well,
we're poor. Buy from us.
So I had to eat it on that. What are you most happy about with the 1776 selling? The fact that it's moving, or the fact that I was dead wrong on it?
That there's still some people that aren't scared of the American flag.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what?
Let's just get into politics. I think that's a good topic to jump right into.
I'd like to.
Who'd you vote for, Adam?
Well, if you don't mind, I actually think that it's kind of important to talk about the current issues right now. If you want to talk about Afghanistan and the Delta variant, we can do that right now.
Turn your dial.
Before we get into that, which we're actually never going to get into, why don't we get straight to our guest? Because I'm super excited for this guest. This is your doing. You've booked the first 2 guests. You brought on Eric Crane. You are responsible for Cole Young being here today. Before we do bring on Cole, how did you meet Cole?
Well, before I talk about that, or even if I do, what I'd like to just say publicly now...
Was it that hard of a question?
Yeah, oh no, I just want to talk about something else. So I'm basically deflecting everything you just said, and I'm going my own direction,
par for the course.
I'm the resident guest, so just let me reside over here, okay?
Reside.
Great job with that intro, by the way. But he invited me, Cole did, generously, to be a part of a future show that he's doing that I haven't signed any contracts for and I haven't done yet. So I'm basically shooting my load a little early by inviting him on here, hoping that maybe I can truly get that back scratched later. So this episode is somewhat of a risk, gamble, kind of betting on myself. So, Cole, why don't you come join us?
Cole, bring it in. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Thanks, Paul.
You can do the limbo there.
Yeah, should I? What do you want me to say?
Yeah, we're going to have you right here.
Seat.
All right.
I warmed it up for you.
Thank you so much. What's cracking, guys?
What's cracking is you showed up. There's a saying in the South, never ring the doorbell with your hands, ring it with your elbows, because your hands are full of gifts. You brought a lot of gifts. That was very hospitable of you. So thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate the putter.
Of course.
I'm sure Ryan appreciates the head cover. It was an Indian Wells head cover.
More than anyone will ever know.
Never come to a house empty-handed.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, what's cool about that, and unfortunately I learned that at a way too old of an age. But I was going to I was having a shindig at my house, and I love old people, if you guys can't already tell. And so it's like bring everyone, my grandma's, bring your fucking grandma, dude. So she comes in, and this was before my wife and I were married, and she walks in with a nice bouquet of flowers, and she walks up to me, she's like, "Are you Ryan?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, where's your she said it like something polite, like not, gal, but she said something that is outside of my vocabulary.
Where's your broad?
Yeah, where's your broad? And I was like, "Oh, she's right over there." And she walks over and she's like, "For the lady of the house," and hands her the flowers. And I was just like, motherfucker. I was like thankful that I just quickly learned that that's what you do. And I've used that since then, which is such a good move because it's similar to what Cole did. But when you show up to a friend's house, especially if it's someone new or someone you haven't even met yet, when you walk in with a bouquet of flowers and you hand it to the lady of the house and you present it to the lady of the house, what a classy touch.
Yeah.
And you learned that when you were 38?
No, I was probably like 32.
Oh, okay. Well, I learned that when I was 12.
I was going to say, had I known that I was just walking to Cotillion today.
Yeah, how many times have you walked in and handed flowers to the lady of the house?
Not only have I done it dozens of times.
I've never seen it. You didn't do it when you came to my house and give my bride flowers.
Oh, that's so funny because actually when I found out that your wife was pregnant, I drove to your house with flowers for her and a bottle of scotch for you. So Adam, not only have I done it, I've done it in front of you to your wife.
Truth be told, I've forgotten more than you'll ever know.
Yeah, no, we absolutely, that's a fact. But Cole, you are Cole Young, a.k.a. Thick Owens, a.k.a. Metalwood Studio. So
right.
I don't want to bury the lead here. This show is about you. It's about your story. It's about who you are. Did you choose the name Thick Owens because you couldn't go with Young Kolsky because there was already a Young Bowski?
Shout out Young Bowski.
I can't believe you just shout out Young Bowski.
Shout out Young Bowski.
You had me going. I don't know where the fuck you're going with that.
Well, I looked at the name and I thought, how does he get Thick Owens from Cole Young?
I love it.
Thank you.
I do too.
So much that I'll get invited to weddings and people don't actually know my last name, so I'll get Cole Owens on my name card.
I have the world we live in now.
Yeah. I've been referring to you as Cole Owens.
I corrected him 17
for
times.
a week because I just thought maybe he goes by Thick Owens because it's the pandemic. He's put on some weight. But where does the name Thick? You haven't. You're a very slender, tall gentleman. You said you were going to do some sit-ups before this. It looks like you knocked out 100. Where does the name Thick Owens come from?
It's kind of just like a cutty fashion joke. There's a designer named Rick Owens that is very avant-garde. He's dabbles in androgynous clothing.
Androgynous, for those that don't know, they work both on male and female, correct?
Correct.
Great.
But so I was working in the fashion world, and there's like a meme account that's like making fun of Rick Owens. So, but I liked Rick Owens for a bit, and then a I was just chunky as a kid. So.
Oh, well, you grew into it. You look
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you for being here. And you're talking now about fashion, and this is what you do. This is what you're into, and I want to make sure that we paint that. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're a bit of a golf influencer. At Metalwood Studios has grown. Maybe we don't like the word influencer, but what else would you call someone that is in the fashion space that has 5-digit following, that's grown very quickly, and you are the name and face behind it. So I don't know if there's a better term than golf influencer. I didn't want to say that, but
I don't really know what it is. I think I get asked that all the time, and it's like I'm just a guy. So,
okay,
yeah.
So just a guy. Let's he's just a guy. So but fashion. What are you more geared towards, fashion or golf? I mean, you're dressed fantastically. You got the coolest glasses on I've ever seen. He comes off like a fashion guy.
I was most excited, not just to have you here on the show, most excited to see what you were going to show up with. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me shout out to the behind the scenes crew. Nick, do we have a shot of these boots right here? Can we talk about the boots?
Yeah.
This is also not just a video, but people will listen to the audio. So can you paint the picture for the people that will just be listening to the audio?
I'm wearing vintage Justin snakeskin cowboy boots.
Wow.
Where
did you get those?
I think Goodwill, which is much where I get all of my stuff from. So
Goodwill Hunting is not just a movie.
So that's called picking, right? You go on a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what Goodwill? You're from Los Angeles. You
Well,
drove here.
From San Diego originally. I've been in Los Angeles for like 10 years though. So.
And you're in Los Feliz, and there's a huge fashion scene down in Fairfax and everything. Where do you do your Goodwill picking?
I honestly, just because I haven't been going outside of my house, it's shopgoodwill.com.
They have an online.
Yes.
No shit.
It's an auction.
So it's
and
got everything?
Yeah.
Oh
And it pulls from like every Goodwill in the country.
Wow.
Oh my god, you just set
I
up
may have just
the
given
next...
up way too much free gas.
No,
but...
you just set up the next 45 minutes before I fall asleep for eternity.
Yeah.
Because that's where I do my best stuff.
Yeah.
When I'm laying in bed just going. For the viewers at home, there's a huge delivery truck behind our building right here, and this is as authentic as it gets.
Yep.
I got a question for you, Adam.
Yeah.
Did you think that 2 episodes in, we would have had on our stupid show avant-garde used twice?
No. When was it used the first time?
Crano used
Crano used it?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We thought that this show was going to be bullshit, and I think what scared us the first episode, it was like, holy fuck, we need to get some people with real depth now. You know?
Sure.
Thank you for coming, by the way.
If I'm being honest.
Because this is a little out of our league, which is why you've been a wreck all day.
No, yeah, exactly. I've been intimidated. I am kind of intimidated by you, Cole, and I'll get into that in a second. But I do want to be transparent with the audience because I feel like transparency is the best policy when it comes to doing a show. Mm-hmm. What the hell does avant-garde mean? What does it mean?
Avant-garde is like anything that kind of just makes your butthole pucker a little bit. You're like kind of freaked out. You're kind of intrigued.
I had an avant-garde day then.
Yeah.
You are avant-garde.
Yeah. I play an avant-garde style of golf.
Yeah.
It's very anxious. It's I wish it was more relaxed.
This guy,
sweating palms.
This guy is
not sure what's happening.
So Hawk is the guy who's so worried about the first tee shot that he's like, we'll be at Muni with our little group and stuff, and like I'd never hit balls, and I see it in the corner of my eye because like the range is like in your peripheral, and I'm just like I just see this like, and you're like that's out of rhythm, and it's got my attention, and you look and you're just watching this guy, and it's like I don't even think the Callaway fucking swing machine can keep going that fast, and he's just firing balls left and right, and he stops and looks up at you, and he's just like patting the sweat on his forehead, and you're like, I'm scared for you.
Quantity over quality.
Yeah, because I think, if you do this enough, it's you'll hit that one that makes you feel good to go to the first one. When that one doesn't come, going to the first hole is it gets very nerve-wracking.
Right.
Let's talk about Metalwood Studio. Mm-hmm. Metalwood Studio, like Nation Golf, is your brand of golf apparel. There's also some golf accessories. Mm-hmm. I went on your website. I think you're selling close to 60 items. There's a lot to choose from. which is great.
Yeah.
So what is Metalwood Studios? And I'm sorry, I pluralized that. What is Metalwood Studio? And
Great catch.
Thank you, because I did notice you just called it.
I hope there's multiple studios at some point.
Yeah, that would be
now,
great.
it's
I love
just my
that.
garage.
I like
so.
Yes, it's in your garage.
It was. We can get to that in a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what is Metalwood Studio, and where does the inspiration and influence come from?
I mean, Metalwood as a term, much like how you were just talking about the List Fields Par 3, which is actually literally 3 par on the sign. There's an old kind of defunct vocabulary in golf that people talked about. Metalwoods, like Nick Faldo, when he was just starting to commentate, he still like fumbles on it. He's not really sure what to call it. It's like a 3-wood, is it a metalwood, is it a fairway wood? So
Especially with the accent.
yeah, exactly.
I'll say this about Nick Faldo. If you take a drink every single time Nick Faldo says, "Oh, he blocked it," you will be drunk before the back nine.
Smashed.
Every single time a right-handed golfer pushes one just a little bit right. Oh, he blocked it.
It can still be on the green.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I love a Nick Faldo.
Yeah.
And great no hat guy too, by the way.
absolutely.
You froth for golf without hats. In fact, you texted us when we were doing some pre-interview prep, which is a great way to conduct the show. Just get a little text message going with your guest.
This is all scripted, by the way.
Yeah, we're totally on script right now. There's a big giant piece of paper behind me with questions to
And I
ask.
can't read the
cue
next
cards.
question
Yeah,
right
they-
here.
your favorite type of golf is golf without a hat, or golf before hats were a thing. Please expand upon that.
It's a little hypocritical. I feel like, I do sell a lot of hats, and I normally wear hats because I hate my hair. But I got a haircut today just for this, just for you guys. So.
Great.
But I mean, it's indicative of an era where people weren't getting paid $300,000, $400,000 a year
That's
for
the
like
point.
a WeChat sponsorship on their hat.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just people used to get dressed to go play golf.
Another reason why I'm a huge Arnold Palmer guy, and I got to years ago go to the stay and play deal at Bay Hill that they do every end of the season, where they let some commoners over there. And just like, you hear all the stories about like no hats in the press room or the clubhouse or whatever, and it's on all the thing. And all the old clubs in the desert used to be like that too. It's like gentlemen are to remove their hats before coming inside anywhere, and now it's like whatever. And I was talking to someone now that we're on the hat thing, and we have a line of hats coming out that we're hoping they come to spec, but we're really trying to like up the crown and like the real estate space underneath.
Right.
And the reason is those old hats, they
Or helmets.
were helmets, and they
Yep.
ballooned in a way. And what I realized is that nowadays with everything so touching and low profile, it's no wonder these guys are all going bald. Because they're religiously wearing these hats that are basically like fucking beanies, you know? And it's like back then, you could be Sinatra with your hair combed and pomade in it. You put one of those high crowners on with it just tilt to the side. By the time you're done, you whip that bitch off and you don't have a hair out of place, dude.
Right.
And you're not going bald. So there's something to be said about that. But yeah, I think it's the general thing here is just how much everything's commercialized for sponsorships and whatnot. I think that's lame. Yeah, hats. If I wasn't such a white, pasty son of a bitch, I would go no hat, you know. But I grew up surfing my whole life, and I'm paying for it now, so I fear the sun like a fucking vampire, So it's visor every time.
You should see this guy's back. It looks like the moon.
Yeah.
Starting to look like a fruit leather.
Yeah.
right. So Metalwood Studio, it's an apparel company. Is it fair to call it an apparel company?
It didn't start out that way. No, I it's fine to call it that now, but it was essentially.
I love the vintage shit you do.
Thank you. That's what it was. It was like a pop and eBay page for a while. That was like a curated used bin, not having to sift through like dog shit at Roger Dunn, or any kind of mom and pop barrel sniping place, right? Like it's V Steels and Orlamar tri-metals and that kind of stuff, but that like gearhead in me wanted to tell a story about like why is the V Steel the best 3-wood in the world
Mm-hmm.
or ever made? And it doesn't have anything to do with technology. It's just like the fact that Mike Weir won the Masters against all odds with those, and like they're nostalgic. It's like what song was playing when you lost your virginity?
Yeah.
What driver?
Hold on. That's not a rhetorical question.
It was the ending to
Jaws.
no, yeah, in theater. Armageddon.
Yeah.
The movie Armageddon in
Sure.
the credits.
Wow.
You know, that's when she went inside. You know, and, it's been a home run ever since. But I was a big Steelhead too.
Okay.
Callaway Steelhead
Yeah.
too. I had one of those.
But you remember it like oh, I had that club the first time I beat my dad.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I was so in love with that club, and I was so confident with it. And I don't know if you knew this, but my grandpa was one of the founding members at the plantation. And so when they first opened in '96, when I found out that he had special rights for like no guest fees and stuff like that, I was like, all right, every other Friday I'm driving out here to play golf with you at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
And at the time I did it selfishly because I just wanted to taste that place because it was heaven,
Yeah.
you know, especially the early days. And two, I look back at it now, and it's just like what a wonderful thing I got to experience for a few seasons, just like playing golf at the twilight of his golfing life.
Mm-hmm.
And but I had this club, I was so proud of it, and I was like, I never hit this bad, you know. Gino, who used to be one of Hal Sutton's stand-in caddies, he was a big caddy over there for a long time. I used to drive him home. Huge gambling problem. Like I'd have to drop him off at the casino, you know, on my way out of town. But
That sounds like you're an enabler.
yeah, so 9 is a par 5, and it kind of goes up a little bit and then down a little bit. There's a pond on the left, and it's kind of sets up for a draw. But then, you know, they have that like plantation style Augusta looking meets Spanish colonial clubhouse, and it's just like white, glorious right behind the green right there. And there's this huge patio, and it's like fucking Saturday morning, and like there's everyone out there eating lunch and shit. And I'm just like, oh, he's like, you got like 2 whatever to it and whatever. And I was just like, watch this, dude, you know? And just hit it on the first groove. And it was just a dead straight missile that I knew it was going 300 yards. And I was like, oh, God. This ball airmailed the green like fast, you know?
Screaming.
And fucking... Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, no.
and everyone's like, what the fuck? Look at it. I'm just like, fuck! You know, the only young guy there, you know,
Yeah,
and just
right.
like, oh God, that just shattered my mind. So I did have some bad memories with that club, but I had a lot of good
Mostly
ones.
good ones.
Yeah, mostly
Right,
good
yeah,
ones.
exactly.
If you are influenced heavily by the 80s and 90s, I mean, the only place you could possibly get that influence would be by watching the tour on TV, right? Like, did you get the influence by watching these 80s and 90s golfers?
No, I don't think I did really, because I've always watched golf and I've always played golf, but it wasn't really from that. I just feel like, and we could talk about my past experience if you want, or past work experience, but like I was working as a buyer for a luxury kind of apparel retailer. So noticing how trends circulate and I guess old becomes new, new becomes old kind of thing.
Sure.
And I noticed the cycle with golf and what, you know, has been going on in this like golf renaissance period that we're all experiencing right now. All things come back.
Right.
And just like heavily influenced by like just vintage fashion and how it has made its way to the mainstream now in contemporary culture.
Right.
And granted, golf is like anywhere from 5 to 8 years behind the minimum of the
Flex Fit hat.
Yeah, the
new. You're
yeah.
like, what?
Flamingo prints. It's like they were wearing that to
All right,
Coachella
guys.
in 2012.
Sharks, I have a unique opportunity for you. You put birds of paradise all over this polo.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you're like, look, it stretches,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like, get away from me.
So
Hey, I saw that episode of Shark Tank.
Yeah, I mean the
I know
guy
exactly
that bought
what you're
in
talking about. Robert
is a
Havlicek.
member at Sherwood. I've seen him there. Head to toe, like 10 different types of flowers. It's crazy.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really surprised his name's not Brad.
Or Chad. Yeah. So.
But it's happening outside of golf in the zeitgeist. So it's like it's gonna happen in golf, and not that I'm trying to like make a shortcut.
Yeah.
But I do genuinely like wearing the clothes that I wear, and I've never been one to like buy a golf costume for just strictly golfing.
Yeah.
And so
boy, they are landing an airplane
Jesus
outside
Christ.
of the studio.
Should we take
right
a
now.
short break and come back for a second?
which is crazy because this was
Yeah.
all Ryan's idea
This
to
is
crack the door.
yeah, this was my idea actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the
head to
Fellowship,
commercial here and
and-
fill up our drinks, you know.
And we'll be right back
Yeah,
after this.
Indie Brewing Company, in collaboration with Nation Golf, presents Smoking Tom's Swing Lube, a professional beer for amateur golfers. This easy drinking and ultra refreshing Kolsch-style ale was brewed with the golfer in mind. At 4.5% alcohol by volume, Swing Lube is the perfect choice on the course, early and often. So ask for it by name, and remember to always enjoy the fellowship and to please drink responsibly.
And we're back. Thank you for joining the fellowship. Sorry for that commercial we just showed you, but that was
Actually, thank you for the sponsors.
Yeah, thank you to the
And
sponsor.
why would you apologize? That was a brilliant commercial. I don't know what it is yet because we haven't put it in, but we'll see it when this airs.
Yeah.
Since we have no idea what we were talking about
We don't.
before an airplane was landing outside the studio, I'm going to just completely change gears here. You used to play college golf at LMU. Ish?
Yeah, I was really bad.
Okay, but you played, and you were
I
on the
did,
team.
Yeah.
Did
Okay.
you learn that beautiful swing in college, or is that after the fact?
No, I mean.
Have you always had that smooth action?
I've always taken lessons from one dude and one. Well, I mean, I've seen demigod Ron Del Barrio for the last couple of years, but no, Donald Emmerich at Rancho Carlsbad.
Shout out to DE.
Yeah,
That's tight.
yeah.
LMU, Loyola Marymount University in Silicon Beach, is nothing to sneeze at. This isn't a community college. What was it like playing college golf?
It was a lot of fun. We were really, really spoiled with our home courses, and I think that having the opportunity to play Division I sports in college is just like a dream come true. But I mean, I played 3 years there. I kind of fucked around my junior year, and I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be like a forever thing. So
Yeah. Okay. So
I
was
enjoyed
gonna-
my time in college.
I was going to ask you, were there any professional aspirations? And you can
I
be
mean,
honest about it. Maybe you
As
thought,
a kid,
okay, as a kid, you thought maybe I'm going to go
yeah,
pro.
yeah,
Because college, that's a pretty high level to play at.
sure.
And these home courses you're talking about, we have a lot of Southern California viewers and listeners. What were the home courses that you would play at LMU?
I feel like bad saying it, but like Monday was LA North. Tuesday was Old Ranch. Wednesday was like a fuck off day. Probably go to the range. Thursday was Wilshire.
Wow.
And then on the weekends, like sometimes we'd get a treat. We'd play like Bel Air or Sherwood or Brentwood. Actually, Brentwood was kind of Wednesdays.
Have you played Bel Air since the redo?
I have.
What's your takeaway?
Just ruined it.
Fuck.
It's
I
fucking
was
awful.
hoping that wasn't the case.
No, I mean the water's gone on the first and third hole. One of the sickest par threes. Yeah, it's a bummer. This isn't my original hot take because I listened to. I actually feel bad about this. I am gonna throw shade on one thing. Is Trap Draw podcast. I heard about a Angelino coming on and like talking and like ranking all of the country clubs and the people that play there and all that kind of stuff, and he was spot on. But I hadn't listened to the episode. I just heard the ranking from other people. So I was like co-signing this podcast, and then I listened to it. I was like, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
But
There's nothing I hate more than a rank.
yeah, well, okay, but I really truly do believe that there is like a
There is a
rank
rank.
in LA
There's a rank.
like country clubs,
Of course there is.
and the new Hillcrest design Top 3. Like
Really?
catapulted past Bel Air, past Brentwood. Like Hillcrest is nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you not play your senior year?
I didn't.
And that was just because.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was like, yeah.
I got a job. I got a job.
Well, that's maybe not congratulations.
Well, I mean, it was an internship.
Oh, even better.
Which before Thick Owens, my handle was going to be intern Cole because I'm forever the intern.
Now you're the big boss, dude.
So I still am the intern. I still do all of my shit.
Isn't that the funniest part about the whole thing?
I know.
Yeah.
We're schlepping orders to the post office.
Yeah.
I like it. You put your hands on everything. There's quality
Just
control.
a real salt of the earth type of.
I actually like it, all right? I do like being involved in the process and knowing that, hey, this order was packed by one of the two of us. It's personally
Smooch
signed.
it on the way
How many
out.
orders do you
Yes.
fuck up this week, Har?
We don't know yet because it
It takes a week to find out.
Yeah. You were mentioning, kissing the order. What
Yeah.
Ryan will do is he will go like this.
Signature.
He'll take a big draw of a stogie,
It's my signature maneuver.
blow it on the shirt,
You sick fuck.
and send it. And we
And
actually.
then I have the fattest chisel tip Sharpie. Not the one that like comes in that like gray container, the one that comes in the aluminum can.
Right.
That has like an endless amount of ink, Like the one you would use to like do the college calligraphy fucking scorecards.
Right.
And I do my best Donald Trump fucking font. And I just go in thick, bold letters this big. Thanks, whatever the guy's name is, and I sign my name, dude.
Perfect.
And it's just like,
We actually had a customer complain recently that the garment smelled like cigar smoke. And Engle wrote back, "That is the nicest thing anyone has ever told me. Thank you." And the customer wrote back, "I'm not complimenting you. I'm actually sort of pissed.
Yeah.
Would you care to exchange it for me?" And I think Engle wrote back, No, I wouldn't.
I told him wash it, and if it still stinks, I'll give you your money back.
Which is funny because
Customer
yes.
service.
Yes. Washing the garment goes against the call card that comes with the garment.
Right.
It's we're a dry clean
clean
brand.
all.
Yeah. And so it's like, hey, that thing we told you not to do,
Just fucking do it.
Yeah. And then we'll exchange it when you ruin it.
Right,
Exactly. but that was a great moment. So as a college former college golfer, you're obviously a bit of a stick. I've seen your swing. I watched the video that Scratch TV put out.
Great mechanics.
And in this
P7.
video that Scratch put out, one of your friends, I believe, says what's so infuriating about Cole is he makes the game of golf harder on himself intentionally by playing old equipment,
Right.
and he's still so much better than us, which I thought was just awesome because I could imagine playing with you and you're using all these 90s clubs and you're just flying it past
It's a
everybody.
built-in excuse.
If you
If
saw
you're losing money.
Yeah.
It is, but
My clubs are from the 90s.
That's what
you
that's
can't
what
beat
drew
up.
me-
It's like
that-
pick on someone your own size.
that's what drew
Right.
me to what you were doing, like wholeheartedly. Was, I was in the surf game and surf culture and stuff, and I had just gotten back really into golf at that same time, which was right before, I guess, for lack of a better term, before the 460cc era. Before graphite's been around for a long time, but before graphite was
the
everything.
standard, right?
Right? And so, it's funny because I see the romance in all those clubs, and I think that's what, in my opinion, what made golf so cool is that you had to have someone show you the way, and then you had to punish yourself through that buffer period of sucking because the equipment sucked.
Yeah.
And then you get to that threshold, and it's almost like a badge of honor. And then you start looking at clubs differently, going like, oh my God, I wonder what it's like to just punish myself with that thing.
Right, exactly.
And
It's
I just
real
love it. And I remember,
masochistic.
it's funny because we probably were living similar parallel lives, but with you being in, college golf and probably knowing the elite versions of that equipment better.
Or the true benefits of new technology.
Right, but also at the time that I was searching around Roger Dunn, you probably had a little bit more of an avenue to get a little bit nicer custom stuff in that same genre and time frame, right? I remember there was a time where I would go to Roger Dunn and it was like I would walk into the fairway wood and driver section and I would just go like this. I'm looking for chrome. Anything with a fucking steel shaft,
Right,
And it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, like what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
oh, and you walk over to the mat and you're just like, ding, boom, you see like a low
And the
running
people that
hook and
work
you're
there
just like $9.99. I'm taking that motherfucker.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But the people working there are like, you
What
sure
are
you don't
you
want to
doing?
try the new
Yeah.
G425? It's like,
you're like, no, dude.
no, get the fuck out of my face.
No, I think, like for me personally, I was a decent player when I was young, but I loved it, and I loved the romance of those clubs, like I was saying. I remember like getting the 975J with a steel shaft, and like I think the difference then was like I felt like I was a better driver of the ball with the older equipment, just because it made me. You had to settle down and treat it like a long iron.
Yeah.
And then you also had to like pick your spot like you're hitting a bump and run. And if you hit it on the screws, like it might only fly 250, but if you're picking the right part of the fairway and playing the break or the way of the hole, you're going to get 60 fucking yards of roll out of that bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And like that is now lost. Now it's just like,
just fly it as far as
I can. And we really lost the romance in equipment. So I love what you're doing and bringing that stuff. I pull up your posts and stuff, and I'm just like, God, I remember those. Those were bitching,
I think the best comments aren't necessarily like young kids like commenting like, oh, this is sick or whatever. It's like
the old
this
guys.
guy that just got Instagram who lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee, that's like,
totally.
I won my high school state amateur with that club. I'm like, that's nuts.
Totally.
Like that's the coolest comment you could possibly give me. So
can you believe that there was a time not long ago where you could go to a Roger Dunn and there'd be 300 beryllium copper I2 wedges just sitting there waiting to be bought?
there's like people still trading that stuff in, and you have to wonder like where it all goes, because Roger Dunn can't. This is great product placement for Roger Dunn. By the way.
Shit.
Cut the
we
check.
should have Roger and Dunn on this show
the check.
at some point.
I'll tell him how you really feel too. Because the last time I walked into Roger Dunn's Santa Ana with you walked in and you go, Roger Dunn fucking sucks.
It just used to be a honey hole. Now it's like a commercial.
It's great. It's just like you have to dig, and you have to. There's new clubs that cycle in every day, so it's much like picking for vintage. You have to go and pay attention.
Yeah.
And you're
Do you like that process? Because
yes, it's the best thing in the world.
Okay. I have a record player at home, and it's not some dumb little Crossley that you buy from Urban Outfitters. It's a legit record player on an old school console.
Yep.
It sounds great, and it looks great, and I love putting on some wax on the weekends when you got time to sit down and do it. I actually do not like the process of going to a record store and knowing I'm going to have to be in there for hours on end just to find that one gem.
Okay, but what's the alternative? Paying triple the price because someone did the digging for you.
Yeah, that's very true. Or the alternative is that same cable.
Spotify.
Yes, the same cable that plugs into the back of your turntable plugs into your phone, and you have it instantly.
It doesn't have the snap, crackle, pop.
It doesn't. There's no warmth to it. I agree with you. So I'm kind of straddling this line of I really like the end product. I really like the feel. I like physically touching it. It's just all that time spent.
But listen to records like, who am I?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How are the acoustics in that Toyota Corolla?
I don't play records in my Toyota Corolla, okay? I play records in my Fullerton 2-bedroom, 1-bath, all right? And it sounds great because it's built perfectly. It's like a sound bath. But I did want to talk to you about, as a former college golfer who has played a lot of competitive golf, now that you're not that, but you still have this great swing and you still know how to play and your friends still know that you are going to beat them when you go out, what's like your perfect round? Not in terms of score, but in terms of feel. Like, are you going out there to go low? Are you going out there to have fun with your friends? Are you going out there to put on some music and just relax and get away from things? Or are you going out there to like relive some glory days? When Cole Young goes out to the golf course as a former competitive college golfer who played D1, but doesn't do that anymore and loves the 90s and everything and has played at some of the best courses, but also has played at Rancho Park Par 3 and Los Feliz Par 3. What's your perfect day on the golf course?
Winning a lot of money.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about these money games.
It happens very seldom, but...
Okay, but you're frequently in big money games?
Not like big... I mean, with one particular person. It's typically...
How often do you play that person?
10 times a year.
Okay, so that's almost once a month.
Yeah.
And it gets your juices going. Does it remind you of what it was like playing in college? Or is it like, I need to make this money to make rent?
No,
like, what's the feeling behind it?
Nothing really reminds me of playing in college because...
You can't bump up your life.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, spot on. No, I mean, everything was like... everything was about score. And it's just not about score anymore. I think it's I'm like a smarter golfer now than I was in college. And whether that be because of the equipment I'm playing or like the different types of courses I'm playing, I just play. I have like my golf IQ is higher, if that makes sense. So but my ideal round is playing like high-low dots with like my college friends who in a way are the muse of Metalwood, because the muse of Metalwood is this kid that grew up on the junior circuit that had all the signs of like a professional golfer, all the nuances, like
that'll buff out. Don't worry about that.
The cord grips with the logo down only, stickers on the bottom of your bag. If you use like a clip towel, like I know I'm beating you. It's like only towels that you've stolen from the hotel that you're...
And they have to be dirty.
And they have to be torched.
Totally.
So there's like a certain look, and Metalwood is in a way making fun of myself in that like I'm not on tour. Like there's no reason to have like a Janiking towel.
But that was the romance I'm talking about. That like, because to get to that level, to know that shit, like cord logo down and like... It's like the punishment, you know?
Right.
And then like the fashion that came with it. Like there's like the true core bag fashion.
Right.
And
so
like
my buddy has a blown out Ping Hoofer stand bag.
And he won't get rid of it.
He won't get rid of it. And there's some golfers that would be like, I'm going to beat the pants off this dude today. And there's another group of golfers like, I'm not touching that guy. I'm not playing him for money.
Because I know.
That dude is a fucking stick.
Totally.
So there's this like romance of the junior golfer that had aspirations to play professional golf that is so washed beyond belief. It's like Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite.
It's
like,
a cult.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
It is.
It's
Like I
a
used to
cult.
throw a football over those mountains.
Totally.
Like, yeah.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
You know? And nowadays, there are very few of, I'm going to possibly make a mistake here and group myself into it, us of those guys left, you know? And, you know, if I do say so myself, but it's funny because that romance is gone and those guys aren't around. And when you see them, you know. And
You run.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But I had a couple older friends that really showed me the ropes with all that shit, you know, and he was just like, no, lambkin, cross-eye cord, logo down, this one.
Don't ever
that.
stray.
And I like, dude, if I have a club that doesn't have one of those on it, like, I'll start acting like Hawk and just hosel rocketing shit because I'm all in my own fucking mind, you know?
You don't talk to you like that?
Yes, I do. Because
Jesus
if I don't,
Christ.
we're never going to talk.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you about, and this is just my own kind of, I have a personal agenda with this question. As a former jock golfer who's no longer a jock golfer, what are your feelings on the club twirl being done by a non-professional golfer? When you log on to golf Instagram and you see someone at the driving range and they hit like a buttery 5-iron,
That's the only way to do it.
195, and then they twirl their club like they're Tiger Woods at Chester, Washington. What are your feelings when someone...
The only places to do it is on the range or a dog track.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's just ironic at that point?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's even better if you've bladed the shit out of it and
Yeah.
you're screaming over the green
Yeah.
and you twirl it.
Okay, I could see
Or
how
if you
that...
top a shot, you're like, bite!
Yeah. I could see how that would be funny.
Yeah.
I like to throw in the spin and then go in. That's
Right.
my go-to, like
Yeah.
when I hit it shitty.
Exactly.
You know, go
There-
in.
there's something-
Or I throw in a nice shot, asshole, like
Yeah.
talking to myself. You
There's
know?
something about watching someone twirl the club that it's like
It irks
hanging truck nuts from a truck. It just it makes me want to punch them so bad. Like
Truck nuts.
like what are you doing,
God,
dude?
that was a good one.
Why are you twirling your club?
Right.
what are you doing? I don't get it. It's like, Steph Curry does the shimmy.
It is really funny when people
they're like,
it qualifies them to they hit a shot that qualifies them to twirl the shot.
It's wild. It's like, who do you think you are?
Right.
You cannot do what you just did. I mean, it's so played out that it makes me sick to see it. And we're a couple of Tiger guys here, you and I. There's a difference when the world's greatest golfer who's ever walked the planet twirls his club and walks it down because he is swagged out of his mind and he's Tiger fucking Woods, and you're a guy at the driving range who's twirling his club on camera and posting it to Instagram and taking yourself seriously when you do it.
I'll take it one farther that I personally don't even like when Tiger does it. Especially one where he throws it out here and does it walks it out.
Can I ask why there's only 2 Tiger fans in here? Because I do want to talk about the twirl.
I was a huge. I mean, we're talking about that era. Mm-hmm. I watched that Masters.
Real quick, do we have vomit bags under the couch? Because I know this take, and it's going to make Cole
No, you don't. Fuck, come on, Hawk. I watched that same Masters in real time. I was at Roger Dunn the next day and watched every Terillium fucking gone off the rack. And I was one of them that fucking bought one. You know what I mean?
Do you still have it?
Fuck yeah, I do. It's in my trunk of my Cadillac. I'll show it to you when we go out there.
Watch your Cadillac.
And then, you know what I do with my putters is I counterweight and I do lead tape wrapped under the grip.
Sicko.
Where are we?
Psychopath.
Where are we on your Tiger tape?
Oh yeah, so
you should put sand in the shot.
Seriously, dude. I had this one 5-wood.
Oh, we're never gonna get to Tiger tape.
You don't even like the take anyway, Hawk. I had this one 5-wood that had something in there, and it was like a metronome. No matter what, by the time it got to fucking impact, it was where it needed to be anyways. And so I fucking used it. It was probably illegal by USGA rules because the club was broken, but it was like, And I was just like, this. When you have a club that works, you're like, fuck everyone else. This club is money.
Yeah.
I'm not changing the grip. I'm not doing anything until this club gets stolen.
Excuse me.
Oh,
that's
fine.
That's the best Fred Couple story is.
Totally.
Bam Bam.
He broke a club at the Bob Hope, right?
Yeah.
And he's with Ben Crenshaw and his wife, and they're on the range like a week before, and he asked Ben Crenshaw's wife, let me see your 3-wood real quick.
I love the story.
Women's flex shaft and just smashing the shit out of it. He's like, yeah, I'm bagging it, and then won that week.
So I got a club.
If the club works.
I'm gonna get out of frame real quick. You guys give me 1 sec. Keep talking.
Going back to the twirl.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Jimmy the Twirl.
What
I don't
a
know
name.
if you follow him on Instagram, but
I feel like every person ever named Jimmy is Jimmy the something.
Right, it's a prefix.
Yes.
Right. So Jimmy the Twirl is a really good golfer, but he has period correct Tiger clubs, all the Nike VR Pro ones, and he has the twirl, the arm swing, and the walk towards
the arm swing gets
to a fucking tee, and and he does it on good shots. He does it on bad shots. He does it on the range. And it's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
I can respect that.
I can absolutely respect that. It's the guys who are just doing it for themselves that I don't like.
So this was in an era where, in the late 70s, early 80s, these guys would come to the clubs for demo day and it'd be like, check out these wedges and we can customize them any way you want.
Right.
So my grandparents got his and hers. This was my grandpa's.
God,
when he died, when my grandpa passed away, I raced to his house and I grabbed everything I could. I got the old posters from his tournaments, his club, anything that I could get away with from his new wife that she would let me. And that was one of them. Yeah. So fast forward a couple years later.
Oh, wow.
So fast forward.
Has this club ever been twirled?
Oh, yeah. I twirl it when I chip. Only when I chip do I twirl. But so I get this call. And it's a good friend of mine who was a college player too. Really weird guy. He was like, Ryan, when I'm putting, can you go stand on the flag so no one touches it? And I'm like, what? He's like, just trust me. Psychopathic shit.
It's funny because he's taken that now to his game. He doesn't.
Yeah, he ruined me.
Right.
Now I'm like,
Engle.
Well, no, it's because of this. This for the viewers at home. This is a chotch move right here. If you're the high handicapper, you have the longer putt. Everyone's in tight for birdie. They're patiently waiting their time to roll the rock in. They're trying to get one on Old Man Par. And the high handicapper's far away, and he fucking finally hits a good putt, and it's like, that's a gimme, Chad, you know, and he goes and picks up his ball. He's like, oh. So what does he do? He walks over there and grabs a flagstick and fucking holds it, and it's going in the wind. And here you are, you're like, okay, motherfucker, now you get to hold the flag while I putt for birdie?
Right.
Why don't you just leave that fucking on the ground? I'll pick it up when I'm done, you know? So anyways, this is the guy who called me. He ruined me for life now that I'm flag conscious. So he calls me, he's like...
And I am now too, and it's like...
Yeah, see how weird it is?
Yeah, when I go out and play with Engle, I'm like, don't touch the flag until everyone's done.
You guys.
Yeah.
We've never played together, so I
well, you played in
wait
front of me in one of those tournaments.
There's just club twirling.
And that's when I was like, I could see that you were having a good time and you were playing with it's Rob, not Rod. It's
Ron.
Ron, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking classic, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
So classic, you remembered his name.
I don't remember anybody's name. And it's a really bad habit.
Yeah.
So this guy calls me. He's like, what was your grandma's name? And I was like, Phyllis. And he's like, I have her. The guy who taught me the flag thing.
Oh.
And I haven't talked to him in years.
Shit.
And he's like, I have her wedge. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Phyllis Engle, right? And I'm like, yeah. So I go over there and get it. It's the same thing, but her logo was an elephant. She loved elephants.
Got it.
And it said Phyllis Engle. His grandpa found it in a used bin.
Shut the fuck up.
Chipped with it and was like, there's something about it. It's magic. It's probably like 5 degrees flat because it was a women's club.
Right.
It's all vintage. It has this pointy fucking toe, no bounce, sharp as fuck. But for some reason, you chip with this thing and it's like, whatever. So I gift it to my wife. When I married her, she always asked me, can I use that club? And I was like, no, you need to prove yourself on the course that you're not going to lose the club. This thing means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Like, because she was doing the thing where you like don't set the club down in the way back to the cart, so then you're going back for it. So you're like, oh, red flag, you're gonna lose a wedge. You know what I mean?
That was
nothing like red flag in your
first red flag on marriage.
So finally, your clubs. It's unbelievable.
She's getting her way around the course and she's pretty good. And I'm like, you know what? This is my wedding gift to you. You can have my grandma's club.
Yeah.
And so she gets it. We go out to Indian Wells.
What a great wedding gift, by the way.
The first day, we're playing with Steve and Tommy. First day.
Were they out of bowling balls?
First hole. She misses the green. She's actually a pretty good player for never playing. Mm-hmm. Misses the green, grabs, we call her Phyllis, the wedge, obviously. Grabs it, chips it, hits the pin, and lands this short. Like comes out. And she's like, and Steve looks at me, because we were chipping with it before, and we're like, there's something about this club.
Yeah.
Steve who?
2 fucking holes later, she chips in for birdie on a par 3.
Wow.
And then she's getting up and down from the bunker and stuff, and I'm like, dude, that club is fucking magic, and that's why the old timer held onto it. But I got it back, dude. So anyways, I brought that to show you because I know you'd like.
Huh?
Yeah.
This thing's sweet.
It's sweet, but
the grooves are
dots
conforming.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, this thing is sweet.
It actually kind of spins the ball in a weird way.
But no lambkin.
No, well, that's the original grip. I'm not fucking.
Yeah, don't touch it. Yeah. This thing is sweet.
I think that's one of those chamois grips or whatever the fuck those were.
Cole,
Chamois.
I want to get you out on the same thing that I got Eric Crane, our first guest, out on.
Yeah.
What are your favorite and least favorite parts of golf? Let's end it on a positive. So let's start with your least favorite part of golf. The silence alarms are going off.
Oh my god.
Wait, what do you hate about golf?
Golf jocks.
Golf jocks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My least favorite thing about golf is golf jocks. And
they come in all shapes and sizes.
They come in all shapes and sizes.
And there's a lot of them.
I think that Barstool Sports has done a lot for golf in getting eyes on golf. Mm-hmm. But people took that and twisted it so fucking hard and turned it into driving carts into
their buddies and posting it for 1,000 likes that last a minute, and then everyone goes and does it.
Shotgunning beers and all that kind of
what
stuff.
What did I miss?
We're just talking shit on Barstool.
Yeah.
Cole is getting loose.
It's fine.
It's the majority now, so
it is the majority now.
By the way, it's not fine, but go on.
It's fine because, unfortunately, it behooves me to root them on because more eyes on golf means more eyes on Metalwood, more eyes on Malvin, more eyes on
Basically,
National.
what you're saying is You
Nation,
agree
excuse me.
with every stance and call out I've ever done, but you just didn't want to be the guy to say it.
Well,
What do you love? What do you love about golf? What do you love about
real
golf?
quick, I hope we had that deep sigh mic'd up. When you said you agree with everything I said, but you don't have the balls
Cole, no one agrees with everything I said.
Your
nobody
silence
does.
is deafening.
Nobody
Okay,
does.
so you hate golf jocks, and that is in complete concert with us here. What is your favorite thing about the game of golf?
My favorite thing about golf is spending sometimes like 6 hours with like-minded people that also think completely different. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
They're like-minded because they like golf, but they think different because they like different things about it.
Right,
And
exactly.
you're going to learn about it that
yeah,
way.
exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about golf is it's an excuse, or I'm sorry, not an excuse, but a vehicle to spend a lot of time with someone that you normally wouldn't, and
Right.
you're always going to come out of it a more learned and empathetic person
Yep.
to
can't-
what they like.
You can't leave early unless you're a huge pile of shit.
No, you can't leave.
That is so blatantly false. You can leave early if you have kids because the wife is at home ready to absolutely kill you. Now, you're in a very long-term relationship.
Uh-huh.
I like how you celebrate every one of your anniversaries on Instagram.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Thanks.
It's great. And you're not married yet.
No.
Okay. But when you do get married and you do have kids,
If that's what he chooses.
yeah, thank you. Your body, your choice. The game of golf.
She's not going to watch it, so.
Yeah, I
she will.
highly doubt she'll watch
My
this.
mom's going to watch it. My girlfriend won't.
Yeah.
What's your mom's name?
Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. How are you? Thanks for lending your son to us. He has been absolutely
Charming young man you raised.
fantastic.
Charming young man.
My lungs
Absolutely.
won't recover from
No.
this episode.
Well, but okay. So anyway,
We have $1 million filtration system.
yes, when you do have a wife and kids, the game of golf, you say that you like the 6 hour round.
He's gonna go into why his wife hates.
No. I'm just gonna say you're gonna be more prone to liking the 3.5 hour round.
I'm going to say, like, your least favorite thing in the world right now.
I can't wait.
You have to earn it. You should earn that 6 hour round.
That on that note,
I'm Cole Young.
Yeah, I had my fist clenched, but we went
I'd
through
like
it.
to officially present you with a gold smoking cup lapel.
damn. Yes.
Can I put that on you?
Yeah,
Yeah, please.
Adam.
Thank you. That thing's beautiful.
it
Thank you
is.
so
You've
much.
been a wonderful guest. Man, I'll tell you what. Whether it was the airplane landing or just the incredible depth of conversation we just had, this was one for the books. I want to thank all 62 people that are going to watch this later today.
Actually, Cole promised us 20,000.
That's
Right,
true.
thank you.
Yeah, no pressure.
Who are
on
you going to
that.
have on next week to do the
Fucking-
word avant-garde?
Great.
Eric Crane.
You know,
We're gonna have Eric Crane on again.
You know what's great about
Are
our
you
show?
available in 2 weeks?
Yeah, let me know.
You know what's great about our show is tomorrow morning is when Adam texts me like, so who we getting next week?
As a former radio producer, you can't just sit around and wait. You have to book out.
yeah, to be proactive.
You have to be proactive.
Which is why we plan about 4 days in advance.
it's not a problem until it's a problem.
Yeah.
right. Now, I personally want to thank Nick Smith, who is our wonderful producer, our wonderful production guy. We absolutely love him. Nick, we told you we'd go 30 minutes. I think we went 90. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for doing it. Cole, thank you for being here. Guys, make sure that you check out at Metalwood Studio.
Metalwood Studio.
And one more cheers to the fellowship.
To the
Hey, to the
fellowship.
fellowship.
To the
Thank you, guys.
fellowship.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Well, that was a long one.
That was great. No, but I'm
too short.
glad. It was too
Could've gone
short.
another hour.
I know. That was fun. Great job, guys.